Welcome everybody. This is Fast Weights and Yoga Fusion. So I know you don't have a lot of time, but I'm really appreciative that you showed up to Lizzie Brooks Yoga, and let's get right to it. Come on and join me on the mat. So you might want a variety of different sizes of weights. If you only have one set, that's fine. Sometimes you can use two, sometimes one, and maybe sometimes use even no weight at all if you get a little fatigued. So come on into a downward facing dog. Let's just stretch out a little bit. Reach the hips up and back, get a nice firm root to the floor, drop the weight of the head down, lengthen the spine back, and alternately bend one knee and the other, increasing gently, gentle is key, the length of the back body, back of the legs, calves and hamstrings. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, lower a third of the way down, hold, draw your organs gently towards your spine. Inhale, exhale 2/3 of the way, almost like you're gonna go to all fours, but you're pausing. Inhale here. Exhale, let the knees come down at the very same moment. Take the toes together, knees could be together or apart. Reach the arms forward, elongate, reach the hips back. Deep breath in here, and exhale. Rising up to all fours. If you want to place a blanket under the knees, that's absolutely fine. Right hand comes underneath, left hand to the waist. Get long in the spine, take a little baby twist to the left. Stay here or extend that left arm up. Left arm doesn't have to go up if that doesn't feel good. Inhale and exhale, bring it back down, and we'll do that on the other side. Left hand starts at the waist. Inhale, get long. Exhale, little twist to the right, and only reach the right arm if that feels really great. You can look down, you don't have to look up if that doesn't feel good on the neck. Inhale, and exhale down. Downward facing dog for the second time, please. Soften that neck, let go of the jaw. You might open and close a little bit there. And then we'll come into plank pose and create a little bit more stability, a little bit more heat through the core. So you're just going to take your right toes, cross them over to the left side. So you're crossing underneath, I should say, and then you're crossing the left underneath the right. So we're doing a little walk, and we're crossing underneath us the midline. And you could be in bare feet or shoes, whatever works. It'll be a little clunkier probably if you're in shoes. But what I want you to avoid is taking the hips way up for this and way low for this. So try to keep stable in the hips, just cross underneath and just recross. And then from here, cross the right underneath the left, and then press back into any amount of a downward dog with the legs crossed. This is gonna increase the stretch across the right hip, right IT band, and hamstrings. Breathe here. Exaggerate the length of your right waistline. And then pass into that cross leg plank. Hold there for a moment. And then now put the left underneath and over to the right. Press back, cross-legged downward dog. Exaggerate now the right side of the waistline. Breathe here, opening the hips and the back of the legs. And of course, shoulders too. Come into plank pose, uncross everything, hold in classic plank. Lower the knees, stretch back, child's pose, get off the wrists, roll the wrists around. Maybe you'll come to forearms position and roll the wrists around there, move the fingers, and shake it out a little bit. Grab two weights. So we're gonna get into the legs a little bit here as well as the arms. So I would go a medium to light weight. I'm gonna go ahead and grab just my 5s. I normally grab 10s or above for this, but since I'm talking, we don't wanna get too winded. So come into a lunge here, classic pose in yoga, and just start with a bicep curl. So turn the underside of your forearms forward, bicep curl. Take that down, and now take the back knee to a hover. We'll do that again. Go to a classic lunge, take it into a classic bicep curl, down to hang, and hover the back knee. So that's the flow. Lunge, lift the arms, lower the back knee. Lunge, bicep curl, uncurl, hover the back knee, and lunge. One more time. Bicep curl, lower the arms, Lower the back knee, hold the back knee in the hover, and just start to find your slow and steady bicep curl. So because this is not a long workout, we want to get more dynamic, we want to get more areas of the body working at once, and that's why we've got lower body and upper body working. And of course, balance. 2 more. Last one. And then from here, lift that back knee into the lunge, lean a little bit forward, reach the weights forward, maybe here, and step into a chair pose. Let both elbows start to lift back, working the back, working the triceps. Instead of taking the weights straight down, try to keep them slightly more diagonally in front of you, and hug the elbows gently back. You're not collapsed at the lumbar, and you're not over tilted forward, but somewhere in between, keep that back stabilized. 3, 2, last one. Straighten everything up, breathe here. Place your weights at the front of the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. You might bend the knees a lot on this. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, take your non-dominant leg, let it lead you back into a downward dog. So that's the leg that normally doesn't step first. Deep breath in and sigh out. Plank pose, you can hold here. You can move through chaturanga or all the way to the floor. You can take a cobra or upward facing dog. And you can go to a child's pose or a downward dog. You choose. Breathing in whatever posture works for you. Soften out that neck. And then from here, walk the feet to the hands. And let's take hold of those weights again. Careful as you come up, bend the knees, and coming on up. All right, so from here, we're just gonna come into it from standing. We're gonna let the other leg come in front. For me, it's that right leg. Left knee is back. And we'll start to find our lunge. So here we are in the lunge. Make sure you feel steady. Take a bicep curl. Unwind that curl. Hover the back knee. Bring it back up into the lunge. Bicep curl. Unfurl the curl. Hover the back knee and back into the lunge. So continue with that. Hover the back knee. Lunge. Lift into the bicep curl. Unwind it. Hover. So continue with this flow. And remember, you're using a focal point, so you don't want to be looking around the room to where you feel like you're gonna get unstabilized, because it is a balance. And then from here, we're about to do our hold. One more bicep curl, and then hold, now just holding the legs with the bicep curl. I'm feeling it a lot in that back leg. This is really good for the glutes, really good for the hamstrings and the hips. A few more. And just one more. Good. Lengthen up that back leg. Let's reach those weights a little more forward. Lean into it. Step into that wider footed chair. Stabilize at the low belly and begin our dual lifts, taking our elbows back. We're about to change this up a little bit. Legs probably are on fire. That's okay. We're not going to be here long today, but we want to do effective work. So now hold the weights in front, and now we're alternating. So you might feel what happens through the obliques and through the core when you alternate your weights rather than just do symmetrical lifts and lowers the whole time. Really good to stabilize this way. We're gonna end 2 more symmetrical lifts and lowers. And stand up tall. Place the weights down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, whichever leg you want to step back, steps back, and then you take your version of a vinyasa Or you go into a child's pose and rest. Wherever you are, breathing. Look forward, take your feet to your hands, grab your weights, bend the knees, and then just straighten everything up as you come up. Shake the legs out a little bit here, and we'll come into some shoulder work. So I'm gonna turn towards the long edge of my mat and go wider with my feet. We don't wanna go too wide. Let's just go wider with the feet. Let the arms hang down. Hold onto your weights, and then we'll lift them up towards the clavicle and back down. Up towards the clavicle and back down. So we just want to get the body used to this. And then from here, one of my favorite moves lately is to pause at the clavicle with one and go the rest of the way up with the other, and then back down. Clavicle, other arm up, back down, and all the way down. All right, so again, asymmetry, really great to work with the body. We start symmetrical because we're lifting and lowering right near the torso, but where we go asymmetrical is when we lift up towards the sky. All right, do you want to add a little bit more? One more lift on this side. All right, we're gonna hold here, okay? And then heel toe in a little bit and lift the heels. So your shoulders, yes, should be burning. If you're doing more than 5-pound weights, I would decrease the weight or hold on to one weight like this, okay? Oh, there's my balance. Breathe here. Okay, now, one weight up or both weights up, as far as if you're holding one in both hands, that would be one. Breathe here. Reach, reach, reach. Having to do a lot of ankle stabilization, calf, core, inner thighs. And as you lower the heels, take the elbows out to the sides. Yeah, I know. Now we'll do that again. Lift the heels, reach the arms up. And as the heels come down, take the elbows to the sides. One more time like that. All the way up. Shoulders should be on fire. Reach up, heels up, arms up, and cactus with the arms, heels down. Rotate in and out. In and out. So bring that rotation in, and the elbows do not have to come anywhere near each other. If you can, try to get them in front of the shoulders. 3, 2, working that whole shoulder girdle. 1, and release the weights down, and shake that all out. Hold on to your weights, and then take the hips at a little bit of a hip hinge like you're doing a chair, and let the weights come down towards the toes. And then just come back up. So on this one, if you have heavier weights, you might want to switch to those. In fact, I'm going to go with a couple of 12s here for these deadlifts. Going back with more focus to the legs, a lot of glutes, a lot of hamstrings. Taking that deadlift, and it's like you're doing an uttanasana, a forward fold, but with a lot more stability and more bend in the knees, definitely, more hip hinge back, and evenly distributing the weight across your feet. Inner thighs should be gently wakeful as well, and there's no speed to this. We are not trying to just whip back up, okay? Nice and slow. And then for the last 3 on each side, we're gonna kick it up. Step your right toes back. Land more weight into your left leg. If this is too much, go back to same on each side. And you're going to weight the front leg more and come up. You'll feel it a lot more. There's a lot more concentration of the work. Down and up. You don't have to go that far down. This is also back work. Down and up. Okay, switch. Right leg forward. You're on the back toes, but you're not on a tight wire. Bending that front knee a bit. Back knee is bent even more. Down and up. Just one more. Core work, everything working. And up. Both feet forward, just one, just to make sure we're nice and a little more into that symmetry. And then let the weights hang for a moment to the sides and set them down. full vinyasa, however it feels right to take it. Inhale, reach. Exhale for your fold. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, take it back through. Thread your breath through your movement. Remind yourself the breath is there. Deep breath in, big sigh out. Lower a little bit down, hold, just like you're gonna come to all fours, but you just paused, you hit the pause button. And then lower almost all the way down, but hover those knees, wake up the inner thighs. And lower the knees, choose your child's pose, knees together or separated, and maybe you wanna roll those wrists out a little bit more. We'll do a little bit of a core lift here, and you have the option to lift all the way, but for most of us, we're not going to. So, hands come down, and they're kind of in line with the knees. Tops of the feet are down. Hug towards the midline with the inner thighs. Think about from the pubic bone to your low ribs to your sternum, taking that whole diamond shape back towards your spine. Round your spine like a Halloween cat. Use the exhale to lift. Tops of the toes are gonna stay down. Inhale here. Exhale, press down into the floor, lift the knees, round your head towards the knees, okay? So you can stay here. You can come to the fingertips. You can even start to lift the hips off of the heels, or you can stay here just lifting the knees. It's also a stretch, yes, for the ankles and the shins. Breathing here. If this doesn't work, come down onto your back, hold a crunch, or if you want to do more, lift everything up, maybe crossing at the tops of the feet. And lower down, and shake it out. Okay, I can't see you, but my guess is you worked really hard on that. So hats off to you. Bring the legs forward and roll on down. Last core work, transition. You did a lot of core stabilization, which isn't just kind of classic core, but you're working your core. And then take a full body, reach, stretch, wiggle in any way that feels good. And then soles of the feet down, hug the knees in, rock a little bit side to side. Press the right leg over the left and just wrap everything in until you feel that right outer hip really getting a stretch. To increase this, which most of us don't need to increase, for like, it's increased. For increasing it, you can take the shins more towards the shoulders and the feet wider out to the sides and grab the outer sides of the feet, reaching the tailbone a little bit away from you rather than hiking it up. Spread your breath around that stretch. And then we're just gonna simply uncross and recross in the other direction, either just gathering it all in, whatever you can reach, or going for a different hand position on the feet. That should probably feel good because of the hip work we did. And by good, I mean like you need it, not necessarily good, like it's stretching. And then soles of the feet down, little baby bridge. Tuck the tailbone until you feel the low back come onto the earth. Arms can be in cactus or down. And just start to peel your lumbar a little bit away from the floor, but keep your low ribs grounded. And it'll feel weird because it'll feel like you're really tucking the tail. We want to open here. And then once that feels okay, you can either decide to stay there or continue to peel the rest of the back of the rib cage up a little bit more and possibly scoot your shoulder blades a little more in. So we're working that posterior chain and opening that front body, anterior. Breathing. Just be witness to your breath slowing down a little bit. And come all the way down. If it feels good to lift your heels on that lowering of the hips, do that. And then bring one knee in, stretch, reach the other heel away. And then switch, other knee in, opposite leg reaches, press through that heel. And then from here, either soles of the feet stay on the ground, or you could set yourself up for shavasana And at least take a minute or two just to close the eyes, reboot the system a little bit further, and get the rest that is the complement to your work. Thank you so much for choosing Lizzie Brooks Yoga and Fitness. Please do, if you find any value in these videos, please do subscribe, hit like, and tell me in the comments what it is that you're looking for. I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.